Hey guys, and welcome back to ZILT. After this dramatic intro, you guys noticed our church is on fire. Actually, this was quite common in the Netherlands. Apparently, lots of church caught fire. I'm probably stating the obvious, but this has to do with lightning. In most towns in the Netherlands, you are not allowed to build higher than the church. And the top part of the church, called the spiral, is often made of wood. You guys understand where I'm going, right? However, it's not always lightning or fires. Sometimes it's maintenance. Wooden parts are more expensive to maintain, and due to financial reasons, churches would often remove the spiral as well. And so often, we actually have a word for it, a stompe kerk. And in Holland, there are a lot of churches without a spiral. Hey guys, and welcome to the building part of this episode. This week, we're gonna try to make the city center more sterile and depressing. It really has been a theme in the Netherlands for since the mid-60s till today, pretty much. To try and get the city centers to be the most depressing, ugly, sterile places in the country. And thank God, the last couple of years it has been more of a discussion to try to get the cities more livable and more focused on living than focused on shopping. Throughout the years, of course, with globalization, retail in Holland has been, pretty much destroyed. We have the big shopping companies, which everyone has, like the Primark, the big H&M's, all the foreign companies where small retail has pretty much been destroyed. It's always nice when I visit the UK, for example. They still have some form of small retail, but in Holland it's not that much of boutiques and small shops anymore. Anyways, what you also noticed is throughout the years in old towns, a lot of old buildings have been removed, replaced with new ones because it was easier. And today, we finally start to see some kind of, mindset that we need to. It's more important to save old buildings than to replace them with something either futuristic or modern or something which doesn't even closely relate to the city center views. I can give you an example. For example, I love Woerden. It's where my wife is from. It's a really pretty town. But let me show you the city center. Woerden is, as you see, an old walled city. And this is their market square, their main center of the city. It has a really pretty old church. It got an amazing old military barracks. But then in between, you can eat from the floor. And they got these awful modern buildings. And thank God nowadays they are more focused in lots of Dutch towns to maintain more of the old architecture than to try to make it a modern interpretation of old architecture, because this is just, it takes away the atmosphere. And I understand for people who are not from the Netherlands, they think, oh, that's quite cute. But when you are used to small Dutch towns, this is a horrible interpretation. And also my wife's gonna hate me for this. Right now I'm replacing the roads surrounding the market square with pedestrian paths, so no cars will drive along it. I notice some cars will still drive on the road. I have absolutely no idea how to stop it, because I did use TMPE. But for some reason, sometimes a car will still drive over the pedestrian roads. But yeah, what you do? It's just a lot of decals and making the square a little bit more, boring, basically. Later on, I am going to create this really cool fountain. you'll see pretty soon. But, oh, there it is. I used the outline of the walled city, and I used a ploppable pavement to PO it. And now I'm trying to use some curbs to make it a little bit more raised. And my idea is, this is like a look at the heritage of the city. I saw this in, I think it was Steenwijk in the Netherlands, where they also did it. And I thought it was really cool. And they made it like a cool fountain out of it. So that's what I'm doing. I'm gonna make a fountain out of this one. Here you see me messing around with the fountain. Okay, next up is the Albert Heijn. It's the most common grocery store in the Netherlands, and I think every build should have an Albert Heijn. However, I didn't want to make it too obvious looking like a standard supermarket. I thought I'll just rebuild an old building into a supermarket on the town square. This is fairly common in some places, and they are less visible in the streets, so it doesn't break off like the atmosphere, which I enjoy. So I am messing around with all kinds of ideas, and then I end up just POing this door a little bit higher, and then just make the bottom floor of this building the actual storefront. I thought if I put up a store downstairs, there needs to be a stairs for the upstairs living, because I imagine there's a residential above it. I used to live above an Albert Heijn, or right next to an Albert Heijn actually, and there were houses above it. So yeah, I tried to change this. And here I'll add the Sven Berlin signs, which pretty much all the assets related to Albert Heijn are done by Sven Berlin, and they are amazing. They are perfect. Oh, there's a car who drove by on a pedestrian road, of course. There was a maintenance car, so I reckon that's all right. I'm not sure. So yeah, add some little blue details, and I think I call it a day. That's where I finished this store. It's fine. It's not too obvious. It's just a grocery store. Of course, you need to add bicycles. Here I start adding tables to the cafe, and this neat little asset which I didn't know about until Moose told me. It's like a marker you put underneath seats, and as you can see, Sims will use it. So you can put it on benches, tables, cafes, and it looks like it's actually being used, so it's really nice. And of course the very loudish Heineken umbrellas. So, to add a little bit more contrast to my fountain, as you can see, I removed the tiles and put some wet decals on top of it, so it looks like it's actually working. I thought I'll try to make the tiles surrounding the fountain red, or at least a little bit more brownish. This way it pops out more, and I'm actually quite happy with the result. Oh yeah, then I'll do the standard things, add some lights, add some benches, add some trees. And as you can see, it already starts to look like a very boring marketplace. Oh yeah, I have to add bollards everywhere, since people are worried that people would drive cars into the streets. Which makes sense, it's a pedestrian zone, so... Oh, here I'll add the markers again. So yeah, it's starting out to look more modern. Still got some things to do, and later on I'll actually add some bus lane. I think I already added it, but I'll make it red, so it's only for bicycles and buses. But it starts to look more like a living, modern town square, which I think is quite cool. I try to keep the buildings the same, not change too much, just to maintain the feeling that we actually moved on forward in time. Which makes sense. So, and I was actually quite happy how it looked. Oh, here I'm adding the red details to the road. Intersection marking tool keeps crashing my game. I love using it. It really is one of the most fun benefits of moving forward with this series is that I can actually use it, but I think it crashes my game like 10 times in the evening, so it's quite frustrating, and I don't know what's causing it, if there's some conflict, but yeah, I don't know. Anyways, we're at the end of the episode. As you might see, the cinematic already had started, and here's the church without the spiral and the marketplace. I'm actually quite happy how it turned out. I also did lots of stuff in the city off camera, but I thought I'll show you guys on a nice tour ending the episode. This week, most footage of Cities Skylines 2 will start dropping, so I'll be one of the few who keeps streaming on CS1 for a while, but I hope you guys would stick around. I really enjoy moving to the more present time with ZILT, and I hope you guys do too. And if you haven't done already, please like, subscribe of course, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. This was Jass. Bye.